I click this button, it's me! Hello there, I will be playing on the US servers, I think, just for a change. Let's go play on America. See if it's any easier or any harder over there. Who can tell? Still playing in Great British Pounds. I like Priest. You know what? I'm gonna play Priest. I've had some good results with it recently. I don't know about anyone else, but I think it's pretty decent. Well, I think we talked about this briefly. You know, when you're getting up to about 6 wins, you have to ask yourself, how can I get back into a game I'm losing? I think Mass Hysteria is that card, so I'm gonna keep picking this Mass Hysteria when it's on offer. See where it gets us. I guess we go with the Seance here. You know, I've done well with this card. It's picked me some nice things up. I'm going with the Tar Creeper just because it gives us the best chance against the Hunters. I mean, the Brewmaster's not necessarily a bad card here because it's a 2-drop that you're happy just to play out on turn 2, but you know, there's a chance of some really good combos with it. Like for example, with this Squashling, this makes like perfect sense, really. The Twilight Acolyte's pretty amazing if you could pick up a dragon, but we have no dragons yet. Like, if you're chucking out 5 Squashlings on turn 10 and then you can pick one of them up with a Brewmaster, it's got to feel pretty good, that one. I do like Deadringer. We've got the Shell Razor already. And we really should pick up some few more cards with Deadringer, or the Deadringer than just the Shell Raise. Should be able to get a couple more Death Rattle cards. Spirit Lash is very nice as well. Like, it's particularly good, like the turn after the worm, when you kill their worm and the 7/1/1s pop out. Deadringer for Deadringer. That works. And I quite like this elixir as well. It can do a lot of good things. Like we're pretty good for 2-drops here now, and the 2-drops we do have, kinda. Well, that's good to know, James. The 2-drops we do have kinda regurgitate themselves into you know, other cards afterwards. I don't mind Yeti at all, to be honest. It sits in the 4 spot, but if we had like a 2/3, I think we could definitely pick up the elixir. It's nice in that spot. Wow. Still no dragons. It's a nice card crowd roaster. Maybe Spark Drill's okay. I mean, surely you've got to take the Etin, but given it's got Death Rattle and we've got 2 Dead Ringers. Surely we've got to pick up the Etin, right? Well, I definitely think Curse Disciple's fine. It's another card to pick up off the Dead Ringer. Fits into the 4 slot quite well. How are we for mechs? Not great. Just a Spring Rocket and yeah, that's about it. Haven't really had much in the way of expensive cards yet. I think if we get any now, we can flesh it out. Discover a spell, not really any spells worth discovering. I mean, if we had a mind control, we could, you know, certainly justify that there. So I guess we take the dragon. There is the mind control. I'm always going to pick that if it's on offer. I think it's too good to pass up there. And I think the missile launcher is another card you pretty much always have to take. So yeah, we can take a couple of expensive cards now. We've got 6 picks left, and the deck looks pretty cheap, to be honest. Hey, now this is a tough one between Black Knight and Ziliax, because Ziliax obviously very good against hunters. Black Knight very good against warriors. We've got just a couple of mechs to magnetize it with. Obviously the missile launcher and the spring rocket. I think based on raw value, like Black Knight's probably the pick here. Well, we're never going to get Dustbreaker to resolve, really. We've only got the Bone Drake at 6. The Scalebane's quite nice because we do have quite a fast deck. So, I mean, there's a good chance that we have something sticking on the board when we play the Scalebane. And it draws a lot of hate quite quickly as well. Like if you play this Shell Razor on turn 4, it just happens to stick on the board because it is a 2/6. Or even just a Cursed Disciple, you know, giving yourself something like an 8/1 the following turns. Getting some good picks to finish this one off with here. I mean, I don't mind the Thought Steal for the value. I don't think that's like a terrible option. Shadow Visions. Well, we do now have a Mind Control in the deck. And it can't hurt to get a second Mind Control. It can't hurt to get a second Mass Hysteria. And of course we've got the 2 Seances as well, which are also perfectly fine targets. So I think it's good because the Mass Hysteria is a defensive card. you know, it's like if you're falling behind, you might Shadow Vision to the Hysteria. Obviously, the Mind Control is for the real sort of late game card. And then these are sort of like the value cards as well with the Seances. Don't mind the Holy Water. I think they're all good picks. I think it's a solid deck. It obviously will benefit usually from going first in the matchups. You know, I think Priest more than anything benefits from that, especially because I don't have any like buff spells. So it's just, you know, when I play a card, it's got to survive on the stats of that card.
Anduin versus Valera.
Watch your back.
Not with these. Oh, going first, but yeah, not with these cards. We're not. They can all go away. It's a slow one. I've got a lot of 2-drops in the deck. Here we go. There's one of them. And the thing is, you don't mind putting a Dead Ringer down against Rogue because it's going to replace itself. They get a little bit of tempo, but we don't lose too much. Hopefully it might pick up an Omani Warbear or another Dead Ringer, I guess. And that's the thing, because we're going first, we haven't been destroyed by the tempo yet. Now, you know how much I hate this card. I think it's a really bad card. Like, opponent could have put some pressure on us here. You know, could have had like a 4-5 or a 5-4 out for 4 mana. And instead, has just shuffled some cards into the deck that they might never draw. And then when they do draw them, they're not necessarily going to be insane either.
Shells up!
So this is really good play, obviously, because Walk the Plank now can't kill it. And Rogues don't necessarily have a healing spell to be able to get this guy back up to 5-5. Obviously, they can have cards that have healing.
We hear your heart.
Oh, misplay from the Rogue. He's so bad at this game. He did not think that one through, did he? Unlucky, sir. He just automatically attacked. Good times.
I must consider.
Well, let's chuck that in. So Shadow Visions is going to get Mass Hysteria or Seance at this point. But again, you notice he played Espionage. And he hasn't really done anything. All he's done is sort of give up the board. So again, just doing this so it's damaged, so it can't die to a Walk the Plank. And there's not that many weapons he can pick up that can deal 6 damage. Obviously, with a betrayal, there's a lot that can deal 3.
I wonder.
So let's put another card down that it's going to hurt him a lot to have to attack. So whatever he has just buffed, we can take with the mind control. And then I'm sure we get the weapon. See, look, he's got a 2-3 with his academic espionage. It's like, well played. Yeah, I think I'll take that, don't you? I think that'll be a good idea. I'll have that card, thank you very much. This is why I take mind control. LOL. Weapon for me. He's probably feeling a bit foolish now, isn't he?
By the light.
Rotten to my core.
Doesn't even attack first with this guy. So again, another rogue losing because they play academic espionage. Like turn 4, do nothing, and then draw a Valnir. That's okay. But then draw like a 2-3. Whereas really, if he'd gone turn 4, make a Yeti, I'd have gone, oh, that's a bit of a problem. So, I just don't like academic espionage. I think you need like a sprint in your deck to be even be able to justify it. Like you have to draw through a lot of cards for it to be useful. Because he only played 2 of the cards of academic espionage. And one of them was a 2-3.
The light shall bring victory.
So I mean, you know, we're good for taunts here. Hopefully we'll get some of these taunts back, but in a few turns' time. Until then, we need Deadringers. So I'm not going to chuck it out there turn 1. I don't think that's a very good use. I'm going to have just drawn the Pixie. This is definitely fine turn 2. Because we go turn 3, turn 4, turn 5. And we got to kill command out of them, which is okay.
What fools these mortals be!
Oh, you know, we're just playing minions on curve every turn. Which is exactly what we want. And we're really lucky in that he's trading as well. He He's not going face. I think if he had Fungal Mancer, he would have done it last turn with these two minions. I think it's important to pressure the Hunter here. I mean, I've got this Dead Ring and a few other cards for doing things. And another nice draw.
Tortola, preserve us!
That minion already attacked.
And it's going to be an 8-3 for the Royal Guard. So maybe we take out the bomb because there's a few cards that can magnetize and are a bit problematic. But he did that himself, so that works for me. Oh, look at that. I got my mind control right on curve. Well, we could take a Mossy. Mossy eats his Mossy pretty well there. Yeah, I'll just kill your board with your own guy. I don't know why I even thought about that. It's like, it's clearly the best play by an absolute mile.
Precision. Perfection.
Yeah, so I wonder what's happening to this guy. What do you think's happening to this guy? Anyone know? My guy. Like, mind control is still the absolute nuts in this game. So there's mass hysteria, basically.
My duty is to the king. For the king!
Yeah, there's not much point pulling a mass hysteria out of my deck.
My pretty bird.
Brave heroes of Gilneas, arise!
Howdy, I am undead.
Well played.
So we went second, but we won that game from curving out. Like coin, 3-drop, then another 3-drop, then a 4-drop, then a 5-drop, then a 6-drop. And the Hunter kind of didn't really do anything turn 5, turn 6. He made like a 0-2 bomb guy, made like a 1-2 elemental. And we didn't see like Candle Shot off him or Hunter's Mark. You know, it wasn't a great Hunter deck. Or it did have those cards and we didn't see them. But he got his Violet Worm out, just not at any relevant time. Like, if he'd gone turn 8 Violet Worm, that's good. But because he played it on a turn where I could immediately mind control it, not so good. I've no idea about any arena balance changes. I'm not one for reading announcements. So if you know something I don't know. Maybe I keep the Shadow Visions going second and pick up a Mass Hysteria. You know, because it is going to be a slow game, I think, against Warrior. Though I think it's more important they actually get some guys on the board. So obviously this is a control heavy hand and we are going second. So we just have to hope our opponent's drafted a slow deck. I'll take a look at it later, James. Let's see what this warrior can do first. Yeah, Hunter, Rogue, Warrior, the average quality of the card pick lower. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Druid, Mage, Paladin, Priest. Ooh. Well, I explained. I thought Priest was in an okay spot to start with, so if they buff them a bit... Yeah, I'm glad they finally buffed Paladin, because it was in a horrible spot. So we're just drawing out expensive cards here, and the only cheap cards we've got, well, die. So there's not really a whole lot of point. I mean, we could play the Spring Rocket. And then go sort of double Squashling the following turn. And then coin out a 6-drop followed by another 6-drop. Because even if we go double Squashling and he kills them both with other things, he'll still have 1 damage to this guy and the missile launcher will finish it off. Well, I think we take the Mass Hysteria here, to be honest. Thinking about what he's going to be doing next turn.
What now?
He might even realise that as well. If we get lucky and he goes face, we get to play the Temple Enforcer or triple Squashling. The fact that he didn't do anything either says he's got something like a Super Collider, or he is worried about Mass Hysteria. But I'm hoping he continues to trade from this point onwards. I mean, another thing about the Super Collider is what makes this Shell Razor so good, because it's very hard for him to get value out of a Super Collider when it's only a 2/6. Well, that's pretty damn annoying. This is 1-1 there, isn't it?
That was an error.
But we've still got the War Bear. And obviously the best drop would have been something like a 0-7 that kills everything on the board, right?
I wonder.
So, Mass Hysteria clears this off. So maybe 4 Squashlings next turn. If this guy's still alive, of course.
Go away.
I wonder.
So things get a little bit awkward with the Warpath, but if it's true and Warrior's had some of his drops reduced, we might still be okay.
I wonder.
He may not attack. It's possible he doesn't attack. Oh, he definitely will now he's got a Frothing. So hopefully no execute. But you see, the issue with going second is he just gets to do everything that turn faster. Yeah, nothing we can do about going second, unfortunately.
You have bested.
I think we win easily going first. Very, very easily that game. It was just all about who went first, really. And it really didn't help that my Etin gave him a poisonous guy. Like, that was probably the defining moment there. If that Etin's still on the board, obviously he's going to eat his guy quite easily. Violet Worm's just always picked. Like, he's clearly an incredible card, so you're always... If people see a Violet Worm, they're always going to take it.
Anduin versus Thrall.
For Doomhammer.
The light shall bring victory.
I don't want the Squashling in my opening hand. Wow, this card would be incredible against Warrior. Beautiful draw. It's going to be hard for me to lose here. I'm going to have to get some really bad draws to lose from this position.
Rams? Those aren't exciting enough.
It's a good draw. Liking it.
Tortola, preserve us!
Not a beast, fortunately. So, you know, we're looking good. We just need to draw something like a Seance or something just to get a bit of late game value now. Great order from him there. So why doesn't he Battlecry first, put the minion in his hand, and then play this guy afterwards to give it +1? Eh? Should we not... Should we not question him about that one? Good ordering there. You know, just take a second. Just take a second. Have a think. Slow it down just a little bit.
None shall.
I bet he's regretting not doing that to the Bone Drake now. Maybe he had a Hex. I don't know. But yeah, he's probably really wishing I had a 3-4 in play rather than the 6-5 now. He got greedy. I'm going to take that out just in case he's got any way of buffing it just to be able to attack one of these two guys. I've got a lot at 1 toughness, but he's literally just played Dragonlore Scorcher. So I want to punish him for that. I want him to go, you know what? I really wish I didn't play that Dragonlore Scorcher. Not a bad draw. So yeah, he's got more cards in hand, but obviously we've got loads more on the board. Rocky! Another ridiculous card. Yeah, this guy's just nuts. Like Gilnean Royal Guard is. It's not immediately obvious why it's ridiculous, but it's basically 8 mana, deal 8 damage. Like, he possibly thought he could stabilise with the Primordial Drake. It's like, no. Actually just going to smash you in the face. I'm guessing he's got Lightning Storm, and he had to get the spell power totem and then high roll a Lightning Storm, which would have been 1 in 4, 1 in 8, would have been a 1 in 16 chance of him doing that. Yeah, you can just, it's like night and day, the difference between going first and going second, isn't it? You saw that against Warrior. I went second and I struggled, and 1 RNG experience went against me with Dietin, you know, giving him a poisonous guy. So, which basically when I've gone 6 mana, discard a card. That's what I've done with my turn. 6 mana, discard a card, and he can just run over me as a result.
Light smiles upon the just.
But going first was the entire opposite situation. Oh, isn't this a great hand? It's a shame I've got the Cursed Disciple in hand. I would have liked to have pulled it out with a Dead Ringer. Well, there's nothing but good cards in my deck, so he's obviously going to get something good. He has to coin out a 3/4 now.
I don't need any of you.
Dead Ringer into Dead Ringer's pretty good. I'll take that.
Ride the Polar Bear Express.
Like, all he's done there is get a tiny bit of card advantage. He's not actually done anything else there. Like, he's not really improved his board. And the same applies this turn. He just has to spend his turn healing up. He can't. He's not building his board up. And now we find ourselves in this situation. Well, I could waste my entire turn getting the mind control. I think I gotta wait a turn on that, haven't I? So we're either going to see a mass hysteria from him now, or a psychic scream. Now luckily, all of these trade with each other, so it leaves me with something. So Shadow Visions hopefully gets the mind control out of this turn. And it doesn't give him a poisonous guy. Perfect. So again, he's like drawing cards, but losing the board, really. And now he's just killed himself. Beautiful. Thank you very much. So his problem was, look at this. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's died with 9 cards in his hand. He's never actually got round to playing any of those cards. He's just gone, more, must have more cards. Anything that draws me cards is good. And I've gone, tempo, beat you? And he's gone, but I've got 9 cards in my hand. How can I possibly lose? Because you didn't do anything with those cards. A card in your hand is worth nothing until the moment you actually play the card. You know, it was like turn 7, Thought Steal. Ha ha ha. I will have more cards. Fine. And it's just, people are really weak. They're obsessed with drawing cards and drawing more cards. And it's like, you still got to curve out. You still got to play your cards.
Anduin versus Anduin.
I feel like I just want to slap these people.
Smiles upon the just.
So we're just looking for a dead ringer here. We've got 2. And there's 1.
You are the Shadow's puppet.
I really don't want him to buff something. Like, I don't want to play the dead ringer there and then he makes a 3-4 or 3-5 with taunt and it becomes a 4-6. And I still have a turn 3 play.
Come, my pretty bird.
Pretty good 1-drops. Everyone would much rather play cards out of my deck than their own deck at the moment. Again, I think I take the mind control. I mean, look, he's down so many cards here. I think I really want to get this mind control in my hand.
Is someone injured?
Pack them down!
And since I already have the mass hysteria, I don't mind so much about him building a board up. Makes the most sense to play my own as well.
Truth is my shield.
That was a great draw. Really was a great draw there.
You call that a weapon?
Oh, mass hysteria, how I love you. There's no way of avoiding the fact that he's going to be left with a minion afterwards. So maybe we just let the board build up a little bit more.
I wonder.
We kind of maybe want to go mass hysteria and then maybe the shell razor sort of turn 9. But what's he going to be left with here?
Consider.
What's the most likely? Well, they're all equally likely. What's the worst case scenario here? That he heals up and has a 4/5. The 4/4's maybe not a huge threat. Yeah, the shell razor's good here.
Rotten to my core.
Now this is getting even better really, because all of these guys, in theory, could end up smashing into this guy over here, which will put it on potentially 2.
I wonder.
Here we go, Bone Drake here.
I must consider.
Me angry, me also angry.
Must choose quickly.
A stranger will offer you aid.
So we're looking for... Okay, that's better if he does that. I was going to say, if he doesn't heal that up, we didn't want these two fighting each other. That would have been really bad. Unfortunately, this guy still survived here. Those two fought each other, which made me a little bit sad. Okay, so I'm going to mind control it. He's probably going to mind control it back.
I serve! This me.
Like, I can't imagine any scenario where he doesn't mind control it back. Oh, apparently he doesn't play mind control. Looking good. I want to heal up every turn for a few turns. And we've got the Brewmaster for picking up the Squashling again.
You have better.
So yeah, it turns out, yet again, Mind Control's just a ridiculous card. Like, if you see Mind Control as piece, you just take it. It's just way too good. When everyone's playing greedy cards. But again, like the very first pick I took in this draft was Mass Hysteria, and that's the reason why, because there's situations where you're just going to fall behind on the board, and you need a card to just hopefully try and reset the board and get you back in the game. And Mass Hysteria is that card. But I don't blame myself for letting him have a little bit of the tempo in order to pull the Mind Control out of my deck. I just feel having two Mind Controls in this match is how you're going to win it.
Uther. I will fight with honor.
The light shall bring victory.
I think we keep it. We've got Shadow Visions, so it can pull out a Mass Hysteria if this Paladin goes absolutely nuts at the start of the game. And these are both fine 3-drop, 4-drop cards. Wow. Yeah, very happy now. Almost a little bit tempted to take the Mind Control out of my deck already. It's like, how is he killing me before turn 10 here? No new follows yet today. Last new follower was 4 days ago. Have to do something to fix this, right? I think we still take the Mass Hysteria. Like, if you look at these cards, you know, it kind of stops on turn 4 here.
No more take candles.
Going to be a little bit sad if he coins out a Blessing of Kings. Well, I don't think you can You can stop people. And it still trades with the spring rocket.
The light protects me.
I mean, obviously we're going to bash the divine shield off that guy. There's no way we leave a divine shield on that card.
Reporting for duty.
I think he's got a level up.
Reporting for duty.
Really makes me think he's got a level up. So we could say insult another one of these cards. You can obviously spring rocket a 1/1. It's not necessarily terrible either. I just think there's too much value from this card a bit later on. Yeah, so I don't mind him getting a big board with me having the mass hysteria. Obviously I want to clean it as much as possible.
Reporting for duty.
That's a nice draw.
But we fight.
Very nice draw. So he needs a consecrate now at this point.
Halt! Who goes there?
That's fine, a pair of 4/4s doesn't really do anything. Let's see if he's got a consecrate again to clear the board. Apparently not. Well, he's got to beat up my 5/1. Like, if he doesn't take out my dragon here, he's just lost the game completely. But he knows that. He'll absolutely take out my Cobalt. Scalebane. There's no way it's surviving. See, again, great order from him. Why doesn't he do that at the start of the turn and draw the card? Like, what if he's just drawn his consecrate now? Well, we're into the late game, so I think I much rather... copy this setting. Like, I think my seance is just pull a big card here. Paladin really isn't that great as soon as it falls behind. It needs an equality, and if it doesn't have an equality, it just gets really sad.
Ungoro belongs to the Titan.
Yeah, I'll have 2 copies of that. Feels pretty good. Now he can't play anything big. All he can do is play tiny cards, but I can still play my big cards. Because as long as my cards are bigger than his, I win.
It's harvest time.
Like, as soon as he plays a massive card, it becomes tiny again. If he plays too much stuff, Mass Hysteria cleans everything out. He's like, he can neither go wide and he can't go tall.
Reporting for duty.
Dark One snatch all!
Do we take this guy out and then Mass Hysteria?
I wonder.
Miss me?
Pretty good card, but again, what's the point?
Ungoro belongs to the Titan. Reporting for duty. For the Maker!
So yeah, I've got another Sunkeeper Tarim in hand, so you know, let's fill up the board with guys, shall we? Feels good. Like, if he's got a really big guy, he can't play it because he knows I've got Sunkeeper Tarim. And if he doesn't play it, I just smash him in the face for 14 or however much it is.
For the Maker!
Like, that's fine, you don't want to attack, or you don't want to play anything. I basically engineered a situation where he can't make big guys and he can't make wide guys because I had the solution to one with mass hysteria and I had the solution to the other with double Sunkeeper Tarim. And he just went, yep, time to pick up my cards and go home. So this is where it starts getting difficult now, 6-1. This is where we have to properly think about what we're doing. We do have to consider these changes. So obviously Hunter has got worse. Mage has got better. I felt Mage was in a reasonable spot to start with, so...
Anduin versus Gul'dan.
Maybe we take some more mages in future.
The light shall bring victory.
Well, we're going second, so I think we keep the Shadow Visions in order to get Mass Hysteria. I think that's always the play, going second. Please tap.
Don't mess with Tusker.
So this will eat his first removal spell because Warlock always has removal. We've drawn all our 6 drops, which is really annoying going second. There's not a whole lot you can do when that happens, really. But I'm definitely feeling the Mass Hysteria. Right, it's going to get a fair amount of value here. If he goes super wide, this would be ridiculous. Like if he drops at least 2 more smaller guys. That would be incredible.
The dark path is my destiny.
This is absolutely fantastic. Oh man, if he goes face, that's living the dream, because I get to run my 2-1 into his 2-3, get to run my other 2-1 into his 2-4, and do a complete board clear. Well, unfortunately, one guy survived. Always a little bit tedious.
As long as it keeps out arrows.
Okay, that's a pretty good draw.
I see light now. Dinner.
Yeah, and that's fine as well. You can have a 1-2. So he needs hard removal here. He needs like 7 cost cards and things, 8 cost cards, should I say, that just say destroy a minion. I've got the missile launcher if he plays yet more 1 toughness guys.
I don't need any of you.
I'm definitely feeling the missile launcher here. Well, maybe not. So ideally what I want is for him to keep his 3-1 alive, so I can kill it with the missile launcher. A second mass hysteria, I think's a great positive now. Save him a coin for a turn 9 mind control. Like, I think I really have to save it here.
Only a fool rejects the Lich King.
Yep, he's got a demon bolt. Doesn't surprise me again. Can he deal me 5 damage? Disappointed I haven't drawn any of my other taunts, you know. No trees that gain me sort of 4 life when they die. There's a lot of taunts still in my deck. And there's lethal. I don't know why that just took him an hour to work out, but there you go. Well, I suppose technically I'm still alive, right?
Me angry.
Because until he did that, I couldn't kill my my four toughness guy. But yeah, I guess because he's fungled, I've actually been able to trade him off there. So again, welcome to going second. That's pretty much what happens when you go second. I go first in that game, I win it pretty easily as well. Like, quite comfortably I win that going first. I took about 20 damage at least purely on the fact that I went second in that matchup. You know, as soon as you're against people who build their decks correctly, it's just all about, did I go first, did I go second? If I've drawn a second mass hysteria, maybe I can win that going second. But, I mean, that's a pretty high roll on my part.
The light shall bring victory.
So I'm going to chuck all of these away, they're not very good to me. Yeah, so... Again, like, I drew a lot of 6-drops in that hand going second, and a lot of them didn't have taunts. And this is, again, it's another pretty terrible hand, so we're just going to have to take the mass hysteria out of my deck. And hopefully actually draw something. Wow, these are shockingly bad draws, aren't they? Can I Seance just to put a 1-1 into play?
I wonder.
The light protects me.
Extraordinary.
It's like, this is literally some hot garbage right here. So this is nice because he'll use the bananas to buff his guy up to 4-4. I've got the Dragonmore Scorcher afterwards. It'll take out his 1-1 and his 4-4 hopefully. As if I planned it. And then hopefully from this point on we're just going to do huge cards. Every turn, huge cards. So I think playing this is more important because I don't see too much difference between 1 and 2, and I do get a replacement card, and it's just better on curve. So again, we just want to keep his board as clear as possible at this point now. And hopefully draw mind control at some point, because I feel I'm going to need it.
Must consider.
Like, this is definitely my worst minion. So I could run this into this after healing up. Well, even maybe not much point healing up. I think we got to go face though, haven't we?
Not too quickly.
Right, there's no way to get around that. Chris, I think Priest's the fun class at the moment. Like, the thing about Priest is, it just feels like you can do so many unfair things in the game.
You dare challenge the daughter of Equine?
He can't even defile this board because it completely destroys his side.
I wonder.
That's fine. That is also fine. That is also fine. Another good draw. So maybe I think taunts is the way to go here.
You shall pay for your
I considered chucking this guy out, but again, I think it's too good to just waste that way. So he's drawn 5 more cards than me at this
I
point.
will purify the fallen.
Access denied.
I must consider.
Oh, my guy lives. Beautiful. Good result. Yeah, so the mass hysteria again turns around the tempo quite well. It's down to 9 cards now.
I will purify the fallen.
Do I want to copy this? It's like I'm not seeing a reason.
Smash!
I was weighing up all the different options, and yeah, it was just the best one. Let's kill his two guys, put him to 6.
My duty is to the king! For the king!
What's this going to draw out of my deck? I've had my dragon. It's probably just going to draw another Dead Ringer, right? He's running low on cards, tapping. Oh, I love it. He taps at the end of his turn. Fantastic. Do lots of stuff and tap at the end. So yeah, Priest is definitely the most enjoyable class. What's not? I think what I enjoy about it is that Priest frustrates a lot of your opponents. You know, just when they think they're getting on top of stuff like mass hysteria, they make a massive guy, mind control it. It's like if you've got a Priest deck with all the tools, like this one clearly has, you're giving yourself a good chance to get to 7 wins. Because 7 wins, as I said, is always the goal. It's like pays for your draft. So yesterday we went 7 wins. Well, yesterday, the last time I streamed, 7 wins, 6 wins, 6 wins. So we're at 7 wins again this time. Before that, I think we got 9 wins with Priest, was it? That was before the nerf as well, or before the buff, should I say. So we're consistent, and that's the good thing.
Anduin!
Ooh, a nerfed warrior. I'm hoping it's nerfed. I'm hoping he's not just drafted this like 4 days ago and he's deciding to play it now. That'd make me sad. A little bit of me wants to keep this Scorcher here. You know, I feel like I could get some value out of that card. Oh, this is nice. Please don't have Warpath. Like, as long as this warrior doesn't have a Warpath, we are great. It's like, obviously draw yet another card with 1 toughness. Why not? Yawn. Question is, do we play the Brewmaster? Seance is probably going to be pretty good. Ah, that is beautiful. Was exactly the card I wanted to draft.
You call that a win? Dark One slash all!
Weapon? Well, if he's got a Super Glide, it's going to be very hard to get back into the game.
Your magic shall not save you.
So I've got Missile Launcher next turn, so I'm hoping he runs his 4 3s into my 2 1s. Like, obviously there's a lot of warrior cards that can deal 1 damage. But he doesn't want my 2 1 running into his 4 2 and then my 1 1 killing his 4 3. If he does go face, we've got the War Bear as well. It'll just completely wipe up his side of the board.
I love omelets.
quickly.
Well, it's great that he's still trading there. That's not so great. Not really a whole lot we can do about that. Like, I mean, we can run the Warbear in, but like, what does it achieve? He still hits us for 5 and puts us to 3. So all we got to do is play this and hope he has to double trade. But of course he's got his own Warbear, obviously. Yeah, and he's got a Devastate as well. So this is what happens again when you go second. So all of my losses were down to going second. Not because the opponent had a better deck, simply because they went first. Really didn't help that my like turn 4 play almost did nothing, I suppose. But you get the idea. You basically build a deck that will get you up to like 5, 6, 7 wins, and then it purely comes down to whether you go first or not. Like if I draw Mass Hysteria, I'm probably still in that game. Or if I draw my Shadow Visions to get the Mass Hysteria, I'm probably still in the game. But if you don't draw those cards and you're going second, you're just going to lose and there's nothing you can do about it. Look at those packs now, up to 55 packs on the US server. And really, my deck could easily have gone to 12 wins had I gone first against a few people and had I drawn my best cards.